Oh, I guess we just jump right into it. All right. Well, okay. Un momento, por favor. Also, I don't speak Spanish. Sweaty Betty. Hey, everyone. I am Andy Duran, also known as Bay Bear Cat, and I am the founder of Chub Rollz, a plus size and fat positive skate group located in Oakland, California. We have skaters of all backgrounds, of all ages, of all abilities, all of size, all identifying as thick, chunky, chubby, all the words that you can use to describe your body. And I started the club about a year ago, so in 2020, during the pandemic, when I was really looking for more representation online for fat skaters. I had been a skater, a fat skater in my youth. I grew up, I stopped skating. I wanted to get back into it as a fat adult. And I thought, well, now that the internet is existing, and it didn't when I was a fat skateboarder as a child, I'm sure there's got to be more information, resources, best boards, maybe some clubs, cool shirts. No, nothing. I found nothing online for fat skaters, and I was super bummed. I did find some, videos making fun of fat skaters, and that wasn't awesome. So I knew that I had to create content, and not only create content, but create an environment where fat people knew that they can do this too if they wanted to. Now, the club, one of the great things about that is that I get to bring lots of boards, all different types of skateboards, long boards, cruiser boards, freestyle boards, you name it. And people get to try the different boards and get an idea of what style they like and what they might be interested in purchasing. But many of you don't have that opportunity when you're at home or not local to the Bay Area. So when you can't go out to a Chub Rollz, you might end up buying something you see at a Target or a Walmart, or maybe a friend has a skateboard. Maybe you stood on it, maybe you fell down. Maybe it made sounds or moved in a way that made you think it's not going to support you. I'm here to give you some pointers on how to build and set up your own fat-friendly skateboard. So let's get it cracking. The first thing is, please do not buy a skateboard from a department store. Do not buy a skateboard from a Target, a Walmart, a Dick's Sporting Goods, anything like that. If your skateboard is under $90, $100, I wouldn't buy it. An actual skateboard, complete with everything that you need, typically costs anywhere from $100 to $200. The $100 completes will usually have kind of, generic, kind of parts on it, but they work fine. And then if you want to customize and pick out the style of wheels or the size of wheels or the trucks or any of that, then it's going to cost more as you start getting into the brand names. So a custom built might cost you closer to $200. So with that in mind, if you're on a budget, just get a used deck. Go online, go on Craigslist, go on Facebook Marketplace, and find somebody selling a skateboard that is a brand name, or that you can tell is not a kind of cheap, department store one. So with that being said, I'll show you some examples. So this is just like a generic used popsicle deck, super worn down, and it can completely support my almost 350-pound body. I got that for probably like $25 on Facebook. So something like that could do fine. And then you could just buy some of the pieces you may want to customize it to make it better for you. Or you can go the route that I went with this one, where I wanted my local San Francisco Bay Area custom grip tape, because it was San Francisco Bay Area made deck, the Unity skateboard from their skateboards, with my Oakland art designed wheels. I wanted to make this, my Santa Cruz rails. I wanted to make the California Kid board. That cost me closer to two. So just kind of keeping that in mind. Sorry, we got some sunlight here. Now, the first thing that you want to check when you get a board is less about the wood. A lot of times people are like, will the wood support my weight? A standard skateboard is 7-ply maple wood. And so the wood usually can support a hefty amount. If you go on to Google, it won't say that. It'll give you a much smaller, thinner weight than mine. And so I imagine it can be quite discouraging for lots of you. I have put riders of up to 500 pounds on all of my boards and have had none break on me or those riders. So, my experience has been pretty good. I like to remind people that when they're taking a board's, kind of weight limit to heart, that it's really talking about how long it'll last in comparison to some of the tricks that an average skateboarder will do. If you're not trying to jump down, sets of stairs or land on rails or things like that, your board will last you a lot longer than you think. So that's great. Boards also are only going to be about $60. This is actually the thing that people replace pretty frequently as they have a skateboard. Then we have our trucks. And the trucks are the thing that supports the weight and distributes it through the board. The trucks are actually really important, but not actually the truck itself, but a specific part of the truck called the bushing. And it's just this little rubber part that's inside of the truck. And what the bushing does is it is going to help to create the turn. The wheels would be here. Give you an example. Another board. Let's set it up for a friend who's much lighter than me. Got the trucks here. Here's your wheels. Bushings are white on this one. Brands will have different color bushings. And the loose bushing will mean that I can kind of push this down quite a bit. So you can see that how a board kind of flexes to turn left or right is based on the bushing and the distribution. See that? So when I'm pushing a little bit of hand weight, it's good. It's not going to touch down. When I push 350 body weight on it, or in this case, my friend's, 180 body weight on it, it did touch down. The wheel scraped down, and we have what we call wheel bite. And that means that you, when you flex your weight on the board, it taps down onto the board itself. So if you have a skateboard and you stand on it, a friend's board, a setup, and you buy anything like that, and it feels very long ways wise, tightrope walky, like you're like, oh, it's going left and right a lot, then chances are your bushings are too soft or too loose. So we would check first with the too loose by using a skate tool, coming in on it, and tightening it up. And you get much less of that flex now, so that with that weight of a heavier rider, it actually will distribute quite well. But if a skinnier rider was on it, they might not feel like they could turn as well. So it's the only thing that you really might need to customize right away on a board. And a new set of bushings costs about $15 at most. So I like to get a set of bones, hard bushings. I think these actually say $9.95 on the side. And I like to replace any stock bushings that come in most of my setups with these, because they're different hardness. So these are going to be pretty squishy, and these are going to be pretty firm. So it means that I don't have to tighten it up very much. I can just put these on, and they just will have the stability and stiffness that it needs to hold my weight. So that's the kind of first thing you can do to customize your skateboard or to make it support your weight more. And it's really easy to do that. All you do is just unscrew this kingpin out, pop out those little rubber bushings, and set a new set in. The other thing that you can do is you can take some skate wax, which people use to wax up a rail or curb or something they're going to grind on, and just rub a little bit of it here underneath your, we call these wheel wells, so that way your board will, when it hits against that, it won't cause you to fly off the skateboard. You can just kind of safely notice that it's stuck a little bit and you want to adjust or tighten that. So altogether, with either new bushings or skate tool and a little bit of wax, you're still looking at under $20 to make your board hold your weight and feel more stable as you ride. And then when it comes to wheels, I'll save that for another conversation. I'd be happy to do more of these for you, but any standard brand name skate wheels would do fine. And just like the bushings in your trucks, remember bushings, and how they come in hard and soft durometers, meaning more squishy or more firm, your wheels will as well. So hard wheel will be nice for skirting along like a smooth skate park or like a nice like glossy area, and then like a soft squishy wheel. I don't have an example of that right now because I didn't plan ahead. Oh, I do, because I can move this. Something like this, which is going to be softer and more absorbent and wider. That kind of wheel is going to be great for going over everything, rough terrain, grass, you name it. But it's going to be so smooth that you might feel like it's a little bit over your head right away. So I like to recommend folks skate both and then figure out which one they like to kind of play around with on their setup and which one feels great. Maybe one for skating the skate park and another one for skating the campus at school. So that's a little bit of how you can make your skateboard more fat friendly. And I encourage you to get out there and just try. Enjoy yourself. There's lots of how-to videos on the internet. Please be sure to reach out to Chub Rollz on Instagram. If you have any questions about getting a setup or what kind of products to get, where to get pads, we don't want you trying anything too quickly to where you get hurt. So I can send you some resources and great tutorials to set you up, but you can do this if you want to do this. So happy skating.